Right now, parts of southern Wisconsin are recovering from the intense tornadoes this week. Braden Ross is there today to hear from those who were impacted the most. Also, the Winter Carnival wrapped up today at the Memorial Union Terrace. What it looked like in unusually warm circumstances. And it's a similar fate for the start of the sturgeon spearing season. How that has affected the hunt and opening day. That's all coming up at 10. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Areas of southern Wisconsin are continuing their recovery efforts after those tornadoes just 2 nights ago. As you can see behind me, in the wake of the storm in places like Evansville, scattered debris, damaged homes, buildings, and trees taken right off the ground. All the roads except Gibbs Lake Road have reopened. That means the cleanup for those who were hit hardest by the storms is just beginning. Our Braden Ross was back in Evansville today to see how residents are already coming together to rebuild. Take a look.
This is the aftermath of Wisconsin's first February tornado in history. You can see destruction everywhere. But what you'll also find after a storm like this one is that it brings a community like this one together to clean up. And that's the aftermath that really counts.
I really love a sunrise, but that day was scary.
Devastating. That's how Heidi Kroll describes the moment she saw the damage an EF2 tornado did to her family farm.
You don't think it's going to happen to you until it does.
Ashley James was inside this house on that farm when the tornado hit.
It just got super loud. We ran down to the basement and we just hear glass smashing like everything. Within like a minute, like everything was done, and we got back upstairs to see like the damage.
What they found was destruction beyond what they could have imagined.
Where do we start? Like we literally just stood on the porch and we're like, okay.
But just 2 days later, Heidi and Ashley are in good spirits, all thanks to a little help from their community.
Look at these people. I mean, there's hundreds.
Friends, family, and even some strangers came out to help them get ahead on the long road to recovery.
Something that we thought was going to take us 4 months is probably honestly going to take us the weekend.
It's that community spirit that gives Ashley and Heidi the strength to keep going.
Seeing everybody helping out and knowing that we're okay and we can rebuild. So it's just objects. So.
And while many of those objects may be lost, it's the ones left standing that they're choosing to focus on.
Grandpa Ralph Kroll redoes farm all tractors. I think he has 10 to 15 tractors. When Patrick Kroll and Balin Kroll were born, he redid the tractors and he wrote on it, Balin's tractor, love Grandpa in the year, right? Rollers on its side, the excavators on its side. These tractors are still standing unaffected. It's a miracle.
Reporting in Rock County, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
As the cleanup continues, the Evansville Fire Department is collecting and distributing donations to those who need them. They're accepting everything from toiletries to snacks to bottled water. The local Home Depot even dropped off some free cleanup supplies.
I grew up rurally my whole life, and it's kind of just always been the thing. I'm not surprised by it at all. You know, the rural community like that, they're not going to ask for a lot of help. So you got to almost give it to them, you know, and we're trying to do that.
Anyone can go pick up what they need or drop off more donations between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. tomorrow at the Evansville Fire Department. Well, luckily, it's been calmer since that severe weather. With that, let's get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Alex Harrington. Alex, is it looking quieter?
Yes.
For the days to come? All right,
yes,
good.
For sure. Going out into the decent part of this upcoming work week, quiet, and we all deserve it. But I got a couple things I want to say to add to Braden's package as we analyze what happened on February 8th. Well, we had a rotating thunderstorm. It's called a supercell. Supercells are not uncommon in Wisconsin, and I've spent the better part of 22 years studying severe weather, including tornadoes. I've written an article on the infamous Barneville tornado and what caused the Barneville tornado to be as severe as it was. This one was a tricky one, and really the key factor with this was the shear changing of winds with direction, and as you go up in the atmosphere, it almost was like a vacuum cleaner was basically set up over southeastern Wisconsin, which is a really unique environment. We had marginal heat, marginal moisture. It was that shear that really made these storms spin and caused that family of severe weather reports that we saw. You can see the rotation in this image sent to us by Jim from Broadhead. This is a classic supercell picture, and that's why we saw again that family of severe weather reports, because we had that abundant shear allowing the storm to stay alive and rotate for hours and hours and hours on end. Just classic textbook supercell thunderstorm. Well, the forecast for tonight, how about that as well? Temperatures dipping down to 25. Normal highs are around 30, so we're still pretty close to our normal highs for our low temperatures. Coming up in Maine weather, we'll talk a little bit more about supercell thunderstorms, when we can expect a little bit of snow, and a weather system that might bring a little more snow that we're tracking. First to warn on that coming up.
Alex, thank you. Despite the warmer weather, the Winter Carnival carried on. With a modified schedule, of course, among the events this weekend was an appearance of part of an inflatable version of Lady Liberty at the Liberty Mall instead of off of Lake Mendota, due to the thinning ice, of course. In fact, all of the events that were scheduled to take place at Lake Mendota were moved or canceled due to the thinning ice.
It's just a wonderful day to just get out, break loose from the house for a little bit, get out and just enjoy a wonderful day.
The Winter Carnival has always included events both on the ice and land, so no matter the temperature, there would always be plenty going on. Representative Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin announced today he will not be seeking re-election. Gallagher represented the state's 8th district, which encompasses Green Bay, since 2017, and was head of the House Select Committee on China, which had been highlighted for its bipartisan work. A week ago, he gained attention for being one of 4 Republicans in the House to join all Democrats in voting against the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. In his statement, he said, quote, "Electoral politics was never supposed to be a career, and trust me, Congress is no place to grow old. And so with a heavy heart, I have decided not to run for re-election." He referred to his time in Congress as, quote, "the honor of a lifetime." The White House is firing back against the Justice Department report this week, which cleared President Joe Biden from wrongdoing on his handling of classified documents, yet also raised questions about President Biden's mental acuity. As CBS's Christian Benavidez reports, his political opponents are using it as ammunition.
President Biden!
Damage control following that Justice Department report about President Joe Biden, in which Republican Special Counsel Robert Hur recommended no criminal prosecutions over Biden's handling of classified documents, but did refer to the president's memory at least 9 times, that it was significantly limited and appeared hazy, that he was a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
The way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated.
Well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing.
Yet Mr. Biden, who is in Delaware for the weekend, didn't help himself at a press conference earlier in the week, meant to reassure Americans on his mental acuity.
My memory is fine.
Mixing up the leaders of Egypt and Mexico.
The president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate.
And then he turns around.
All that providing ammunition to former President Trump.
Say, this guy can't put 2 sentences together. He can't even find his way off a stage. And then
Mr. Trump has faced his own allegations of memory trouble. Recently, when talking about January 6th, mixed up his Republican opponent with the former Speaker of the House.
Nikki Haley is in charge of security.
Out on the trail, Haley blasted both Biden and Trump.
At some point, we've got to quit putting our head in the sand and say we can do better.
Haley's still trailing Trump in the GOP primary. The next contest is in South Carolina later this month. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
The White House said President Biden will appoint a task force to review how presidential transitions examine and handle classified material. The Israeli Defense Forces say their military aircraft killed 3 Hamas members in Rafah Saturday, including 2 senior military operatives. The operation, based on IDF and Israel Security Agency intelligence, targeted Ahmed Eliakubi. The man Israeli military claims was responsible for the security provisions for senior Hamas leaders and served as a senior commander in the Rafah district. The second senior military member was identified as Aman Ratisi, and an additional Hamas militant was also killed in the attack, the IDF said in a statement. Coming up next, how the warm temps are affecting sturgeon spearing season, which began today here in Wisconsin.
It's A1 Furniture's Truckload Mattress Blowout. Queen Luxury Firm Mattress only $2.99. Queen Euro Top $3.99. Queen Jumbo Plush or Firm just $4.99. All sizes available during this once-a-year mattress event. Only at Madison's locally owned A1 Furniture.
It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. Get started on your next Ford SUV. Like an adventure-ready Bronco or Bronco Sports. Escape to take on the everyday. Or Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. Get here to your Ford dealer. It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. During Auto Show, choose Flex Buy on Explorer or Bronco Sport with 1.9% APR financing for 66 months plus $2,000 Flex Buy cash.
One night, 4 huge events. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour returns to the Alliant Energy Center on Saturday, February 24th, 7 p.m. Featuring bull riding, barrel racing, freestyle bullfighting with a live performance by Ian Munsick.
Live Cowgirl.
With Alexandra Kay.
On the gas, speeding past your place.
Get tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour, Saturday, February 24th at 7 p.m. at the Alliant Energy Center.
Spectrum Internet delivers with fast and reliable speeds nationwide. So there's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum. Now get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi and a Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line free for 12 months. Visit Spectrum.com or call 844-242-1479. Spectrum Internet offers speed and reliability, while advanced Wi-Fi gives you best-in-class security and privacy for all your connected devices. And Spectrum Mobile delivers unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G included. Switch now and get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 with advanced Wi-Fi and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited free for 12 months. Start saving today. Go to Spectrum.com, a Spectrum store, call 844-242-1479, or scan to call now.
It's A1 Furniture's Truckload Mattress Blowout. Queen Luxury Firm Mattress only $2.99. Queen Euro Top $3.99. Queen Jumbo Plush or Firm just $4.99. All sizes available during this once-a-year mattress event. Only at Madison's locally owned A1 Furniture.
A candid conversation with Wisconsin football coach Luke Fickell, talking football and family.
And we'll meet the coach's wife, Amy, who talks about her role in Wisconsin football's first family.
He's not in charge when he's home.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Today is the official start of sturgeon spearing season in Wisconsin. But thanks to the unseasonably warm conditions, it's a slow start this time around. This is caused largely by the unstable ice on which the spearers would go out on. The sturgeon haul today was low, and it could be a similar story for the rest of the season.
Very slow. We'll probably see a few more fish coming in, but we're not going to see nearly the amount of fish we usually see on opening weekend.
Sturgeon season will run through February 25th or until one of the state's harvest caps is reached, whichever comes first. And now let's get a look at your first one forecast. Maybe we can end up getting some more stabilized for the sturgeon spearing season. Alex?
Yes, indeed, we may here. And as well, Jalen, folks have been asking us to go in a little bit deeper, to spend a little bit of time, what made 2-8 so unique? And we'll get to the rest of the forecast, which looks quiet in just a moment. Really want to focus on this. We had just enough heat, just enough moisture for those thunderstorms on 2-8 on Thursday. And the thunderstorms are rotating. They were called supercells. And the reason why they're rotating is you've got changing winds at different directions at the surface and higher up. That gets the storm to rotate. But there was one other ingredient here that really made that event, and that is called divergence. Well, what's divergence? Well, we've talked about the jet stream. That's that river of air that storms move on. The way the jet stream was set up basically allowed air to be lofted high up into the atmosphere. It's analogous to being in the bus where you've got papers and litter on the floor and somebody opens the hatch up. That litter goes right to that hatch and goes right up out that hatch. And we basically had that setup, that jet stream, that divergence aloft, that strong lift into the atmosphere in conjunction with it rotating right over southeast Wisconsin. It is basically a case study setup for quite an event. And this is what a supercell looks like. If you've never seen one before, we can get them in Wisconsin. Clearly, this whole thunderstorm is rotating. Thanks, Jim, for sending us this photo here from Broadhead. And when you have this unique setup, this supercell is rotating, producing a family of severe weather events, large hail, tornadoes, damaging winds, clear from Dubuque to Monroe to Janesville, all the way to north of Milwaukee. These supercells can live for hours and hours on end. Now that forecast here, quiet for the course of the next week. Maybe a couple flurries as we go towards Valentine's Day and Thursday, a snow shower or two. Colder next weekend, so quiet here. So we plan the rest of our night. We'll do 25 for that low temperature. Highs up on 40 on your Sunday on that big game day. Tracking here, the clouds building back in as we head towards 6 o'clock in the morning. Clouds should start to depart a little bit in the afternoon, but we will have on and off clouds, but warm temperatures up around 40 degrees, as I mentioned. Lows tonight, 25 in Madison, 27 in Baraboo, 28 in Janesville, and 28 in Platteville. And highs, if we can get a little bit more sunshine, may crack that 40-degree mark. But that 40 degrees here, again, temperatures, that's about 10 degrees above normal where we should be. I like to show this because we've just been so extreme in our temperatures with the warmth. It's not until you get way out at the end of our 10-day forecast, Monday going into Tuesday, that we might actually be below normal for a change. Here's those Valentine's Day snow showers going on into your Thursday. A little bit more of an impressive weather system. First to warn here as we go out towards Monday and Tuesday, some consistency in some of our weather models in potentially having a bit of a stronger weather event. We'll be keeping an eye on that on the First Warn weather team. And again, thanks, Chrissy, for this picture near Milton. Again, that supercell all rotating. This right here, there's the lowering base, the wall cloud, and just as a figure skater pulls in, they spin up, and you get that spin up to rotate faster, and that's how you get the tornado to drop out of that fully rotating supercell thunderstorm. It was quite the event again, Jalen. EF2 tornado in Evansville, Judah and Albany seeing that EF1 tornado. Again, I call this a case study. There will be meteorology students across the nation and the world studying this event because a marginal setup, you'd think that you wouldn't get tornadoes like what we saw on Thursday, but we did for those ingredients that I was just mentioning earlier in my weather.
As we had talked about earlier this evening during the 6, where you and I lived recently, you know, tornadoes were normal.
Yes.
I didn't think that getting this far north that, you know, parts of the area in which I live would still be battling tornadoes in February.
Right, yours in Missouri and mine working out in Kansas, even in early February, a tornado in Kansas is extraordinarily rare, let alone Wisconsin and at this caliber.
And our hearts and all of our thoughts are definitely with everybody that's been impacted. Hopefully efforts can ramp up pretty soon to get things back to normal.
Indeed.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Alex. If you haven't gotten your flu shot, take note. The CDC says flu activity is on the rise. Natalie Brand has a look at some of the week's top health stories.
Flu season is far from over. The Centers for Disease Control reports more than 16% of clinical lab samples tested positive in the last week of January. That's up nearly 2% from the week before. The CDC reports at least 20 million Americans have been infected since October. Researchers are finding more evidence of the benefits of giving up smoking. A new study in JAMA shows people who kick the habit have a significantly lower cancer risk even 10 years later. The research involved 3 million people and found quitting at any age helped, but those who stopped before middle age experienced the most benefit. And while adults in the U.S. experienced considerable mental health issues as a result of the COVID pandemic, researchers say many are not getting the help they need. A study at Columbia University found even though outpatient mental health care increased from 2018 to 2021, the percentage of adults with serious psychological distress who received outpatient treatment declined. Those were some of the week's top health stories. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
And coming up in sports, the Badgers were back home hosting Notre Dame. See if the luck of the Irish would run out. Next on News 3 Now.
Here's a prime opportunity, a shot to score! News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
are back with more Pretzilla party planning.
Amen.
Right?
Here
Shelly
we go.
from Texas is representing Pretzilla. You know and love the brand. So we did apps last time,
Yes.
but now it is the entree.
Amen. And here we have some really fun things. We've got the hamburger bun, we've got the sausage rolls, we've got the sliders. And I'm telling you, every single one of them has that beautiful mahogany color, and you smell them, and they're so versatile. This hamburger bun, we can do chicken. We can do chicken fried steak where I come from.
I like it.
And then, of course, we have our traditional Madison, Wisconsin, where it's got the bratwurst and the mustard, and then
sauerkraut.
Yes.
I know, I stole your thunder there. Oh, I love this all. And this is really like stepping up the entree game. I mean, if you see a white bun, enriched white bun, I mean, it's okay. This just is like, all right, this is a meal. This is part of something I want to be a part of. Here's the best part. Pretzilla is over 100 years old.
I don't look a day over 50, do
No,
I?
you don't, girl. Started as Miller Baking in Milwaukee back in 1923.
And a family-owned business. And look at us today. We only sell pretzel buns.
Oh my gosh, they are known and loved all throughout America. So come and get this great lineup. You can go to your recipe page, which is found at
Pretzilla.com.
Okay.
Or you can also go buy these at Hy-Vee.
We got Woodman's.
And Whole Foods.
We got Walmart.
Yes, we do.
We got Festival Food.
Yes, we do.
Yes, I have found them at all of those places. Plan a party, host it, and have a beautiful, memorable time. For Shelly, I'm Emmy, and you are buzzed into Madison. Which basket you want, girlfriend?
I'll take this one.
I want the blue cheese.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers, Pretzilla. Go Team Pretzilla.
If you have Medicare and Medicaid, you may be eligible to get extra benefits with iCare's dual eligible special needs plans. Our members get $1,800 per year with a card that's loaded monthly to pay for items such as eligible groceries, over-the-counter items, rent, and utilities. Whatever you don't spend carries over each month. Call us today, and a licensed sales agent will help you find out if you're eligible. Rest easy. iCare is looking out for you and your health.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's big pet care sale is going on now, and that means huge savings on the food, treats, and supplies you need to help keep your pets happy and healthy. Right now, get a free $15 gift card when you buy select Blue Buffalo dog food. Keep you and your pets safe when you're on the road with Blaine's Farm and Fleet vehicle batteries. And buy 4 tires from these top brands and get instant service credit savings equal to the price of 1 tire.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
It wasn't too long ago that Wisconsin men's basketball had won 15 of 17 games and were the 6th-ranked team in the country. Then they lost 3 straight, and despite that, heading into today's game, they were still projected as a 3 seed in March Madness, but they got to figure things out in a hurry. Looking to rebound against a struggling Rutgers team, A.J. Storr sizing up his man, through the contact, and won. He'd finished the old-fashioned 3-point play, and with 14 points in the game, cutting the Rutgers lead down to 3 points, make that 6. And then in the second half, Badgers trail by 15, 8 minutes to go, and Connor Essien, he was a bright spot for Bucky today. Fires a 3, butter. CE3 finished with the season-high 15 points, but ultimately Rutgers was just too much. They'd add a 3 here to balloon that lead over 20, and Wisconsin loses their 4th straight game. 78-56 is the final. If there's one team you can always count on to bring you back up from losses like that, it's Wisconsin women's hockey. The defending national champs have won 12 straight and are coming off of a 10-0 shutout against Bemidji State last night. It was this kind of weekend for the Badgers. Watch Kelly Gorbatenko just casually hitting the puck up ice, and it squeaks through the goalie's 5-hole, an inadvertent goal, if you will. They don't get much easier than this. Gorbatenko just hits it up, and watch it squeak through the goalie's wickets. The Badgers doing their thing, and then midway through the 3rd period, Badgers up 4-0. Why not make it 5? Kirsten Sims scores her 4th goal of the weekend as the Badgers bag the Beavers 7-0. And the Wisconsin men trying to complete a sweep of their own back home facing Notre Dame. Scoreless in the 1st period. Wisconsin looking to strike first, and a wide open William Whitelaw scores the goal. Take another look at the one-timer. Whitelaw puts the Badgers on the board. Wisconsin leads it 1-0. And then in the third, Bucky up 2-1, trying to put this one to bed. And look at Sawyer Scholl with the wraparound goal. If you missed it the first time, take another look. Gets it right behind the netminder, and Scholl makes the Irish's luck run out. Badgers win it 3-2. And the Super Bowl is almost here. We'll know who won it in 24 hours. And while it won't be the Packers, the Green Bay's Super Bowl rings were being shown off at the Sphere in Las Vegas. But hey, there's always next year. 4 years ago, the Chiefs and the 49ers battled in the big game, and 4 years later, they meet up again. This time, however, the Chiefs have a Madison connection in Badger great Leo Chenal, as Jalen Banks, our Jalen Banks, had the chance to speak with him and his high school head coach, and he says Leo is the same person that you see on TV and is just as awesome as the football player.
Many in Madison know Leo Chenal as one of the many great Badger players who'd go on to get drafted to the NFL and win a Super Bowl. But for those from Grantsburg, Wisconsin, and his high school head coach, he's just good old Leo.
Since he is back quite a bit, you know, we get a chance to talk to him, and he's still kind of the same guy. He's full of energy. He's a very positive person. He was a kid that back in high school that he was always willing to help out no matter what it was. It says a lot. He's so grounded, and it's one of the best things about him.
And Coach Hale says from an early age, you could tell Leo was just different.
As a freshman, I always remember this because he's walking up to the weight room, and I was behind him, and me and my dad, who also coaches, we just kind of looked at each other like, this kid's, he's built like a man. He's different, and he's just like an instant impact, and just you kind of knew he belonged, and you knew he was going to be something special.
Now Leo looks to become the first Badger since James White to play in back-to-back Super Bowls and be a part of one of the few franchises to win back-to-back Super Bowls.
And of course, that Super Bowl is right here on CBS tomorrow, so let's get into it. The 49ers come into the game as 1.5-point favorites in a Super Bowl rematch from 2020. San Fran will look to capture their first title since 1994. Meanwhile, the Chiefs will look for their third Super Bowl ring of the Patrick Mahomes era and a chance to become the first team to repeat in 20 years. Now, there's a lot of storylines going into this one.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift sightings, the first Super Bowl in Las Vegas, and because it's in Vegas, let's talk about a little bit of prop bets. Those are some fun things. Here's an easy one. Coin toss. Who do you got, heads or tails?
Fun fact.
Okay.
2019 season, I was a junior at Eastern Illinois University, and as a captain, I always came out for the coin toss. That entire season, whenever we were away, I took heads, and we won every single time. So I'm just going to take heads for this one as well.
Let's go through a couple more. How about the over-under of the first touchdown scorer? 19.5 is the over-under. So under, you've got Deebo Samuel. You've got a couple of guys. Do you take the over or the under on that?
I'm going to take the over on that one for sure.
Okay. And the very, very last one, the biggest one, who do you have winning the game, the Chiefs or the 49ers?
I'm going to go Chiefs for this one. I think the way that Patrick and the offense has come alive as of late, along with their defense, it's kind of hard to bet against them.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs as well. Look out for a couple things tomorrow. If you want my favorite for the Super Bowl MVP, go with Travis Kelce. It's not gonna come back to bite you. I got the Chiefs tomorrow as well.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Andrew. We'll be back with more after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get right to the point. It's the President's Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress.
Madam President, what's that mean for the average American?
It means saving $100 off every $1,000 you spend.
And Tempur-Pedic?
With bipartisan support, we've allocated up to $500 savings on select adjustable mattress sets and a $300 gift.
And how will the people pay for these so-called savings?
Try 6 years, no interest, and free shipping. The President's Day Super Sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
A concert experience you won't want to miss. It's the Commodores. Performing live Saturday, February 17th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. 70 million albums sold, 7 #1 hits. The Grammy Award-winning Commodores. February 17th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Readers Poll for 2024. Nominate the Best of Madison online today, including Harker Heating and Cooling for Best Heating and Cooling. Nominate Harker and all your favorites on MadisonMagazine.com.
One night, 4 huge events. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour returns to the Alliant Energy Center on Saturday, February 24th, 7 p.m. Featuring bull riding, barrel racing, freestyle bullfighting with a live performance by Ian Munsick. With Alexandra Kay.
On the gas, speeding past your place.
Get tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour, Saturday, February 24th at 7 p.m. at the Alliant Energy Center.
It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. Get started on your next Ford SUV. Like an adventure-ready Bronco or Bronco Sport. Escape to take on the everyday. Or Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. Get here to your Ford dealer. It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. During Auto Show, choose FlexBuy on a Ford Escape or Edge with 0.9% APR financing for 66 months plus $2,000 FlexBuy cash.
It's replacement window season. Do you have ugly, hard-to-open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows. Because when you buy 2, you get 2 free. Buy 2 Champion windows, get 2 free? I guess that means if you buy 4, you get 4 free. Buy 6, get 6 free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy 2, Get 2 free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
Arby's just learned Starbird means right. And if loving wild-caught 2 for $6 crispy fish sandwiches is wrong, Arby's doesn't want to be Starbird. Arby's, we have the meat.
The First Warn Weather Team takes you beyond the barometer, only on News 3 Now.
All right, Alex, what's going on?
We're talking about big game foods. Great day for it tomorrow with temperature-wise highs around 40 degrees.